So, when we talk about suicidal ideations, the person has been feeling, uh, you know, no, there is no will to work, to live, not to work. So sorry, but to live. वो पूरा ही उनका system of, you know, living life and आपने बहुत बारी देखा होगा into movies also, well, where there is no will to work at all. Okay. And there is a lot of sadness that a person has been feeling because of low self-esteem, because of low, whatever feeling of isolation that a person has been feeling. Okay. So, before before we go to suicidal ideations, let's first see कि ADHD में हम DBT को कैसे ला सकते हैं, ठीक है? So when a person has been feeling impulsive and hyperactive and they have been diagnosed with ADHD, तो हमारे DBT में कोई interpersonal skills होते हैं जो हम उनको सिखाते हैं. एक है जिसका डियर मैन करके, इट्स अ निमोनिक, जहां पे द फीलिंग ऑफ असर्टिवनेस एंड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन, जहाँ पे because there is lack of interpersonal skills in ADHD people or people who have been diagnosed with ADHD. So there is a lack of friendship that they have. So इसमें हम कहते हैं डियर मैन, इसका मतलब आपको कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन के लिए बहुत जरूरी है. प्लीज लिखिए अपने नोटबुक्स में. नंबर 1 डी, जहां पे डिस्क्राइब द सिचुएशन. ई, एक्सप्रेस द इमोशन दैट यू हैव बीन फीलिंग. ए, असर्ट कि मुझे किस चीज के ऊपर आपसे प्रॉब्लम हुई है. पूरी सिचुएशन तो नहीं हो सकती है, बट क्यों हुआ है, क्या दिक्कत है, एंड बी अ वेरी असर्टिव अबाउट इट. आर, रीइंफोर्स द पॉजिटिव बिहेवियर. ठीक है, अगर आप कुछ पॉजिटिव बिहेवियर का हो रहा है, लाइक इफ द पर्सन हैज done something which is good in the whole given situation, so you will reinforce that also. So you want the other person to acknowledge it. So R for reinforce. Man ka M, mindful communication. A, appear conflict, matlab, confident, sorry, appear very confident and assertive about the problem that you've been facing. And N, negotiate the solutions that the person, but whatever the solution is, you have to come to a midpoint. So इससे क्या होता है कि जो conflict resolution है, that becomes more easier with a person if you give them like a flow chart kind of a thing कि you can go about this. Then we have a fast technique also. Okay, so in the fast technique for maintaining self-respect in a relationship, first is fairness. Okay, so to be fair to yourself and to others. Then apologies. So don't apologize unnecessary. Okay. So you only apologize when it's necessary and you know that you have done something wrong. फिर आता है stick to your values. Okay. So don't just compromise just because कि ठीक है हमें ठीक होना है या ये है, because it's necessary. But do it because आपकी value system ऐसा कह रहा है. And truth matlab be honest and be very authentic in relationships also. All right. So yes, so this is a DBT interpersonal skill with ADHD or any kind of people who have interpersonal skills problem. So then uh, this is a very good skill set to give it to them. Okay, now let's move on to suicidal ideation. So suicidal ideations or suicidal thoughts the person has been getting are thoughts of self-harm and taking one's own life. Okay, so ranging from fleeting thoughts to well-developed plans. It is not a mental illness in itself, but it's a symptom that is underlying the distress of the person, or it's a symptom of one of those symptoms that a person has been feeling. सो देर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सुसाइडल आइडिएशंस. तो एक होता है जो पैसिव होता है कि आई विश आई वुडंट मेक अप टुमारो, मतलब इट्स नॉट पक्का कि उनको करना है, बट दे आर जस्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट द कि मुझे नहीं जिंदा रहना है आज के बाद वैसे. देन द पर्सन हैज एन एक्टिव प्लान ऑल्सो. So the second type is when the person has persisting thoughts of dying and they have planned it out कि मुझे इस टाइम पे इस तरीके से अपनी लाइफ लेनी है. Then there are chronic suicidal ideations where the ongoing suicidal thoughts often seen in personality disorders, especially in borderline personality disorders. That's why we use DBT here also. फिर आता है acute suicidal ideation जहां पे the sudden emergence of that thought comes in and thus the urge to die and often triggers crisis मतलब when you actually do it या when you will not succeed with it जो उसका trauma होता है वो भी is something that a person goes through. Okay. Then there are different kinds of neuro imbalances that a person goes to because of low serotonin level, no low serotonin hormone, right, and depression. Then there is the psychological factors is depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia or psychosis also. Okay, because then you think that you're actually going mad because you're feeling and seeing things which are not present, but you cannot control it in a way because it is coming back to you because of the hallucinations and delusions. Okay, and the social and environmental factors may इसमें आता है हमारा जो चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा होता है एंड सब्सटेंस यूजर्स होते हैं सोशल आइसोलेशन जो अ पर्सन हैज बीन फीलिंग ऑफ डिस्कनेक्ट एंड अनसपोर्टेड एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट देन फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स या जॉब लॉस होती है तो वो सडन इमर्ज जो हम एक्यूट की बात कर रहे हैं वो इसमें आ जाता है. ओके, सो एक